lot of the things we've been talking about over the last couple of months is kind of comparing lists. One thing the Atlanta Journal-Constitution is doing right now that we talked about on our radio show is providing a Mt Rushmore of sorts for the Atlanta Falcons. Who are the four people or players who really identify with that franchise more than anyone? Well, I'm going to start with Mr. Falcon, Tommy Nobis, and even though he played before I really started watching the Falcons, I'm not that old, he was Mr. Falcon, so it's kind of difficult to leave him out of the conversation. I think he was just a phenomenal player, and from all accounts, is just what you would want in a tough son-of-a-gun and football player on the defensive side of the ball. He was the first Falcon, and he was known as Mr. Falcon, and he was a beloved character in Falcons history. You know, I had two quarterbacks in there, and I kind of felt bad because I left out Claude Humphrey, another player that was kind of before my time. He left the Falcons in 1978 before I started watching the Falcons and went to Philadelphia. Claude Humphrey's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, so how can you really leave him out? Even though he was before I started watching the team, it's hard to leave someone like that out of there. He came 2 years after Tommy Nobis, and it just seems like if Nobis is going to be in there, Claude Humphrey should be as well. Look, I'm going to have Steve Bartowski because he's my favorite Falcon no matter what. I am. I just think he was the first major offensive star for that franchise. He was a great player on some really bad teams, so I will take Steve Bartowski and leave Matt Ryan off. You know why? He's not finished yet, and I think I want to see if Matt Ryan can win a Super Bowl before I would put him on that Mount Rushmore. And finally, I would take Jesse Tuggle, who, of course, went to Valdosta State, was just a tremendous player. He would hit you, and you would feel it, and a great defensive player. So, surprisingly, I'll take three defensive players, Tommy Nobis, Claude Humphrey, and Jesse Tuggle, and one offensive player in Steve Bartowski. Yeah, I'm going to leave Julio Jones off, even Roddy White, William Andrews, Gerald Riggs, Billy White Shoes Johnson, and Matt Ryan, and go with the guys who have already done their work for the Atlanta Falcons. Who are your four people you would put on the Falcons Mount Rushmore? We'd love to hear from you. Head on over to 41NBC.com and leave us your Falcons Mount Rushmore.